Hello, and welcome to another episode of Soap Goes to the Oscars. This is episode 42. I'm recording on September 8th, 2024. And the movie I watched today was called Imitation of Life from 1934. This is still part of the 1934 Oscars, which was the seventh ceremony. This one is one of the longer ones of this ceremony. Actually, I think it's the longest one of this ceremony year at 111 minutes, an hour and 51 minutes. So this is directed by John M. Stahl, screenplay by William J. Hurlbut, based on Imitation of Life, a 1933 novel by Fannie Hurst, produced by Carl Laemmle Jr., starring Claudette Colbert, Warren William, Rochelle Hudson, amongst others. Cinematography by Merritt B. Gerstad, edited by Philip Kahn and Maurice Wright. Production company was Universal Studios, and it was released on November 26, 1934. Some of the details here: Imitation of Life is a 1934 American drama film. Screenplay by William Hurlbut, based on Fannie Hurst's 1933 novel of the same name, was augmented by 8 additional uncredited writers, including Preston Sturges and Finley Peter Dunn. The film was originally released by Universal Pictures and re-released in 1936. A 1959 remake of the same title was directed by Douglas Sirk. And this is one that I had to buy on DVD, and it was a 2-picture set, which includes the 1959 remake as well. I may or may not watch it, not sure. In 2005, Imitation of Life was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry, being deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. It was also named by Time in 2007 as one of the 25 most important films on race. It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Assistant Director, Best Sound Recording at the 7th Academy Awards. Let's see, production. Fannie Hurst's inspiration in writing her novel, Imitation of Life, was a road trip to Canada she took with her friend, the African-American short story writer and folklorist Zora Neale Hurston. The novel was originally to be called Sugar House, but was changed just before publication. Molly Hero of the University of Portland wrote that the script of this film closely followed the storyline of the original novel. Universal had difficulty receiving approval from the censors at the Hays office for the original script they submitted for Imitation of Life. Joseph Breen objected to the elements of miscegenation in the story, which not only violates the production code, but is very dangerous from the standpoint of both industry and public policy. He rejected the project, writing, Hearst's novel dealing with a partly colored girl who wants to pass as white violates the clause covering miscegenation in spirit, if not in fact. Their concern was the character of Piola, in whose person miscegenation. What the fuck is miscegenation? Oh. Miscegenation is marriage or admixture between people who are members of different races. The word, now usually considered pejorative, is derived from a combination of Latin terms miscere and genus. The word first appeared in miscegenation, the theory of blending the races. Okay. So the concern was the character of Piola, in whose person miscegenation was, I don't know if I'm saying that word right, but was represented by this young woman considered black, but with sufficient white ancestry to pass as white and the desire to do so. Yeah, that's enough behind the scenes, I think. So this was the story of a widow who has taken over her husband's maple syrup business. She has a young daughter, about 2 years old. And at the start of the movie, she's trying to get her ready and answering the phone for someone that wants an order of maple syrup and answering the door, and is kind of going a little bonkers trying to keep it all together. And this black woman comes to the door thinking that she's at a house that offered an ad for a helper, and turns out she's on the wrong side of town, but ends up kind of working her way into the woman, helping the woman in that moment, helps her with, getting breakfast ready, and basically says, if you give my daughter and I a place to live, I'll work for almost nothing. Just room and board, basically. So she does. She says, we'll give it a try. And it ends up, working out. She's able to focus more on the business. And the helper, Delilah, played by Louise Beavers, gives her the secret to her mother's, or her grandmother's, actually, pancakes. And since this woman has a maple syrup business, she decides that she's going to take it. And at first, I thought it was going to go a different direction. I thought she was going to like steal the recipe and, you know, take off with it. But she actually cons her way into renting out a store and getting equipment to start a pancake business. She's going to use Delilah's pancake recipe from her grandmother and then also sell her maple syrup. So they open this place on the boardwalk. It does very well. It kind of jumps ahead a few years. And she uses Delilah's picture on the sign and cuts her in on the profits and everything. And then someone comes along and tells her that she should box the pancake recipe. And so she starts to do that and becomes, they become very wealthy. And she still brings Delilah along with her. And as I mentioned, sort of in the production notes there, the daughter of Delilah is she's black, but her mother is black. The father was light skinned, and she can pass as white. She goes to school, and the kids don't know that she's black. And she basically, through the whole movie, doesn't want to be black, wants to be passable as white. So it was good. The biggest negative I have for this, it was very long. At an hour and 51 minutes, it kind of dragged on in places and probably could have been cut short a little bit. But that being said, it was still fine. I liked it a lot. Though the other thing that it sort of, like I said, I thought it was going to go differently. I thought she was going to steal the recipe, and she didn't, and that was good. But it also had a little bit of that sort of white savior complex in that they made Delilah out to be kind of dumb. And even when, she was offered money, she was like, oh, I don't know what to do with the money. And I just want to work for you and make pancakes and stuff. So, it's 1934. I guess some of that is to be expected. So it was a little cringy in places, but it wasn't as bad as it might have been. And like I said, this was on DVD, so it was a pretty good copy. So everything looked good, sounded good. But overall, not a bad movie. I think I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd. So pretty good. This round has been pretty good so far overall. A couple that maybe I didn't love as much, but I've got 4 more left. So hoping that maybe I can get through them all this week and finish this year of Oscars out. I know that review was kind of spotty and all over the place, and I apologize for that. But I've got to do another one now, and I'm trying to keep these short if I can. So anyway, I liked it. It was pretty good. And that's all I got. See you next time.